As you can see, a person is wearing headphones. So this is the experiment. So one side of the headphone gives us one message, and the other side is another message. So, for example, this is the attended input, President Lincoln often read, and the ignored input is on the right side of the person's ear. The horses gallop across the field. So, President Lincoln often read. So, it will be able to recall the attended input, the person, while the ignored input gets ignored. So, cherry, certain statistical properties of auditory information was identified, like male or female voice, and aspects like language, word, semantics went unnoticed in the ignored ear. Right, and Morey, the second experiment was conducted in 1959. So participants more likely to report repetition words versus non-repetitive words, obviously, because it is being repeated. Repetition only identified when the lag between repetitive words were a few seconds. Factors affecting selection: lag between auditory and auditory stimulus in both ears and pitch of the sounds in both ears. So this supports the late selection view, since the distractors, or basically the stimuli, is still coming after uh, like their perceived importance is lower as compared to the attended stimuli, but still we are considering it, right? So, key concepts and explanation. So, a dichotic listening task, a method to study selective attention in auditory processing. Participants wear headphones and listen to different messages in both ears. They're instructed to focus on the message in one ear, attended input, while ignoring the other, unattended input. So, findings by Cherry: participants could distinguish basic statistical properties of the unattended input, such as male or female voice. However, deeper semantic processing like words and meaning and the language, they went unnoticed, supporting the idea of an early selection mechanism. Right. So, let me just highlight this. Findings by Morey: participants were more likely to detect repeated words in the unattended ear. Only the time between repetitions was small. Only the time was small. This suggests that unattended stimuli can be processed at a certain level, but particularly for repeated or familiar words. Factors affecting selection: lag between auditory stimuli in both ears. If stimuli are presented with little delay, participants struggle to process them. Pitch of the sounds in both ears: large difference in pitch can facilitate processing. Right. So if stimuli are still presented with little delay, they struggle to process them, and large differences in pitch can facilitate processing. Connection to attention theories. This supports the late selection model because unattended information is still processed until a semantic level before actual filtering occurs. So late selection is covered here, right? Now, dichotic listening tasks, semantic processing and selective attention. Right, so now what happened is, when participants were given an unattended message such as "you may stop now," very few, 8% actually responded. However, when the message was preceded by their name, 33% of participants responded. So, interpretation: unattended words are processed until semantic level, right? And supports late selection theory. The fact that participants recognize their name suggests that unattended information is processed up to a semantic level before filtering occurs. However, not all semantic information is consciously perceived unless it has a strong significance like one's name. Now, semantic processing versus perception. Semantic analysis, attention and perception. Words are analyzed for meaning before attention is applied. Right? Words are analyzed for meaning before attention is applied. However, semantic processing does not guarantee conscious perception. Means some unattended words might be analyzed but not recognized by the human. Right? This is also another very important point. You have to keep this in mind. Right? So moving on, divided auditory attention and space-based selection by Morey. So Morey shows that attention can be directed to only one source at a time, and that is again defined by a basic characteristic: space or location. Evidence of attention divided across space. How is attention divided across space? Visual, flash channels, auditory, zoom lens model. So key concept: attention can only be directed to one source at a time, defined by space or location, or basic auditory features like pitch, volume, repetition, etc. Or amplitude, right? Evidence for divided attention. Morey found that participants detected repeated words more easily when the delay was small, reinforcing the idea that attention is divided across space, right? This ties the zoom lens model of attention, where a broader attentional focus makes it harder to detect fine details, while a narrower focus increases the accuracy or precision but may overlook unattended stimuli. Split span task by broadband, divided attention, and recall. Right. So this is the diagram. You can go through it. I'll explain this. So we have two recall conditions. First is ear by ear recall, and second is pair by pair recall. So ear by ear recall is the one in which participants recall all the digits from one ear first, say for example the left ear first, and then from the other. While pair by pair is basically they recall digits in the order they were presented, so alternating between the ears. So you can see 725, 394, ear recall will be 725 and then 394. While pair by pair is like 7, 3, 2, 9, 5, 4. So that is alternating, right? So number of items that can be remembered without rehearsals, right? So findings: ear by ear recall was superior to pair by pair recall. Why? Because switching attention back and forth between ears increases the cognitive load and the response time as well. So reaction time increases. So this supports Broadband's filter model, which argues that attention operates as a bottleneck, allowing information from one channel at a time, right? So we'll highlight this. Superior to this, okay. Connected to divided attention highlights the limitations of auditory attention and its preference for single channel processing. Auditory monitoring task: temporal resolution of auditory processing. So key experimental setup: targets are presented among distractors or noise in both ears. Two conditions: target in only one ear, easy detection, and target in both ears, difficult detection. So findings were: if a second target is presented within 100 milliseconds of the first target, it is not detected. If a second target is presented after 100 milliseconds, that is after this amount of time, it is reliably detected in the ear. So implication: it suggests a 100 millisecond temporal resolution for binaural auditory processing. Right. So the brain has short refractory period where it processes one target at a time. If a second stimulus arrives too soon, it's missed. Okay. So conclusion: demonstrates the limits of auditory attention and provides insights into the temporal or the time aspects or the constraints of auditory processing. So now this is a summary of whatever we discussed in the video. So firstly, experiment. This column is for experiment. This is for key finding and supports. So firstly, we have dichotic listening task, which was performed by Cherry. So unattended stimuli process for basic features, not semantics, and it supports the early selection model. While the dichotic listening task by Moray, repetition increases detection of unattended stimuli, supporting the late selection model. Divided auditory attention by Moray, attention is space-based and limited to one source, supports the zoom lens model. Split span task by Broadbent, auditory attention prefers single channel processing, supports Broadbent's filter model, and auditory monitoring task. Key finding was second stimulus detection depends on timing, 100 millisecond resolution, temporal limits of auditory processing. So that's it.